Marco Polo was born into a family of wealthy merchants in Venice 1254. Marco's dad and uncle were traders who traveled to Constantinople, Persia, and China. In 1269, they returned to Venice and saw Marco when he was 15 years old.
Dad, yay!
It is 2 years later, and the Polos and several of their servants are preparing a trip to see the Emperor of China, Kublai Khan, who was tolerant of all religions.
Hey, Marco, Mafia! I just got a letter from Kublai Khan. It looks like he wants us to bring him holy oil from Jesus' tomb and 100 Christian men, so he can learn if the Christian faith was the true religion. And if it was, he'll be Christian along with all of his men.
The Polos set sail for the Holy Land in Jerusalem, where they could get the holy oil for Kublai Khan. But the Polos only found 2 monks who would travel with them to China.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we only found 2 monks. It's insane.
When they disembarked at Ayas, they traveled by horse and pack mule toward Armenia. But the monks became scared of Muslim bandits, also known as Mamluks, and demanded to get sent back home.
Oh my gosh, I'm so scared of all these mamluks. Actually, Jeffrey, they're called mamluks. Oh, shut up, Bob. Hello, I'm from the Knights Temple. I was sent here to bring home some monks.
Down here.
Oh, come on, buddies. Let's go home. Thank you.
The Polos barely escaped the Mamluks
Oh my gosh! What did I ever do to you? Jeez.
and traveled east through eastern Turkey and Armenia. For a while, they traveled through what we call today the Middle East and saw where Noah's Ark was settled.
Hey, is that a boat in the middle of absolutely nowhere?
They saw people using oil as light
Cool. Oh my gosh.
and clothing with gold on it.
Wow. That's cool.
The Polos trekked through a long mountain pass that was freezing cold until reaching the scorching hot Rudbar Plains.
Oh my gosh. Man, it's either freezing cold or scorching hot. Thanks a lot,
While they traveled, they saw zebus, date trees, and sheep with big tails. And they were attacked in a storm of bandits called the Karunas. Some of their people were killed or sold to slavery. The Polos made it to a vast salt desert.
Man, it's really salty. Don't come over here, horse. Hey, the water is green. Think it's poisonous? Probably. Nah, whatever.
Then they saw assassins whose leader was the old man in the mountain. He was feared by all.
Get off my lawn, son boy.
The Polos continued their journey to China. Marco got sick, and they had to rest.
Guys, I feel a little bit sick.
On the way, they saw lots of new animals, and Mongols living in yurts.
Hello? Anyone? Okay. Okay.
Then in 1275, the Polos finally reached the Chinese border.
Guys, we've reached it. Look. China. Not China. China. I don't know where I am now. But we made it. Finally. Yay.
When the Polos got to Kublai Khan's kingdom, Marco said it was the most beautiful place he had ever seen.
Man, this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
When they were there, Marco saw so many new things.
Wow. Lots of cool things there.
He learned the language so quickly he was sent as an ambassador for 17 years.
Yay!
Marco Polo did a lot of good things as an ambassador. But then they had to leave. Khan gave them golden tablets to take home as good luck.
Thank you.
When the Polos arrived home, they were in soggy clothes.
Man, so soggy and dirty.
No one believed their stories. But on September 7th, 1298, Marco fought in a battle and was captured.
Man, it's so sad, Jill. I can't believe we got captured.
Marco escaped and got back home in 1299. He was 45 years old.
Yeah, finally!
Around 1300, Marco's dad and uncle died. Then in 1324, Marco's health failed and he died. But history still remembers Marco Polo as one of the greatest explorers ever.
Oh, you betcha they did! Bye, guys!